Alright, today's video we're going to do some virtual shopping. Search criteria is coupes, manual transmission up to $5,000, and we're going with dealers only. I'm going with dealers only because in the current market, dealers are offering warranties on everything now. You know, it's just because of the economic times we live in. So, you know, if you spend $5,000 on a car, you want a warranty on it. You don't want it breaking on you in like a week and you're shit out of luck. So let's go ahead and see what we find. I'm going to name the horsepower by memory. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. If I'm stumped, feel free to share your car knowledge. So here we go. Mustang Coupe, 2001. I'm going to guess that's a V6 since it's not advertised as a GT. 2001 is 190 horsepower for a V6 for a 2001 Mustang. When they went retro, it went up to 210 for a V6, and now the current V6 Mustangs are like 305 horsepower, 300 horsepower cars now for a V6, 400 for the V8s now. Okay, another Mustang Coupe, Saturn Ion, that's 140 horsepower. Honda Civic, 03, that's 140, I believe. A lot of four bangers are 140. Another V6 Mustang, Cavalier, 140. I'm going to guess 140 on a lot of these four-cylinder cars. Cobalt, same thing. There we go. Here's a nice car right here. 05 Saturn Redline. Saturn Ion Redline. They came turbocharged 2 years, I believe, and then they became turbocharged. Did I say turbo twice? Supercharged first, then they became turbocharged. I think the 06 is a supercharged car, 205 horsepower, but I believe they do low to mid 14-second quarter miles, and then when they got a turbo, they went like high 13s, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nice car for $5,000. Surprised to find a 05 Redline for $5,000. 98 GT Mustang. 96 to 98 was a horrible year, or horrible years for GT Mustangs. They were only like 225 horsepower, and they ran like 15-second quarter miles, I think. Horrible. But the Cobras were good. Cobras had 305 horsepower. But the GT, I wouldn't go with the 96 to 98. Go 99 if you want a Mustang GT. 260 horsepower, and they were low 14-second cars. Okay, Honda Civic LX, Honda Accord. If that was a V6 Accord, that would be 240 horsepower. But it's probably a four-banger since it's so cheap. Yeah, 2.4, it's a four-banger. Okay, let's see. Impreza, it's not a WRX, probably 140. Honda Civic HX, I believe that's the fuel economy model. It's like 120 horsepower. Alright, let's go to another page. Lots of Mustangs. At least all these Mustangs are manuals. Hyundai Tiburon GT. That's the V6. That's 172 horsepower. Like 15 seconds in the quarter mile. Alright, let's see what else we got here. It's like my chair rattling around. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. Okay. I'm determined to find something with 300 horsepower for $5,000 or less. Alright. Just a couple Mustangs, Saturns, more Mustangs, no GTs. The good thing about GT Mustangs, even though they were only like 215 horsepower or 225 for a V8, they still sound good. V8s are always going to sound good. Honda Prelude, 195 horsepower? 195. Escort ZX2, 130 horsepower. That was a nice car for its time. Still pretty nice today. Okay, 87 Porsche. Have no idea. Porsche 924. If you got knowledge on Porsches, how much horsepower does that have? $5,000 for a Porsche. Since it's the 80s, I don't think this has 300 horsepower. 80s was a bad time for cars. Camaro, that's not a Z28. A 99 Camaro with the V6 had 200 horsepower. 200 or 205. Like the Mustang, a V6 Camaro has like 300 horsepower for a V6 now. 400 for the V8, like 425 or something like that. 420 plus. Technology, man. Cars are getting faster and faster. Another Hyundai Tiburon. They're not very powerful, but they look good. So far the pick of the litter is that Saturn Ion Redline 14-second car for $5 grand. It's not too bad. MR2. I don't think all MR2s were turbo. I have no idea what the horsepower is. I think the turbo one was like 210. I believe it was 210. If it was non-turbo, I have no idea. I think it's like 150. I'm going to guess 150 non-turbo and 210 for a turbo. There we go. Right there. Z28 Camaro. It is a 96. I think they got 305 horsepower in 97, but even a 96 Camaro had 285 horsepower, low 14-second car. It's not bad. That's not a bad deal right there. $4,900, 14-second car, almost 300 horsepower. So there you go, almost there. So the Saturn Ion Redline and that Camaro 14-second cars, another 98 GT. Like I said, 96 to 98 were horrible years for the V8 Mustangs. Bad times for Ford fans back then. 98 Mustang GT had 225 horsepower and the Z28 Camaro had 285. But then the Cobra had 305 and the SS Camaro had same thing, 305. Then they bumped it to 320 a couple years later, both of them. So Ford figured it out after like 98. I believe the 99 Cobras, 99 and the 2001s had 320. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Firebird Coupe, that's the V6, 200 horsepower. Let's see what else we got here. Saturn SC2, that's a nice car. Another Z28 Camaro. So basically you got some coupes here. Some V8 rear wheel drive coupes. That's a 285 manual. More fun when it's a manual. Okay, let's go a few more pages. So yeah, you could get 300 horsepower for 5,000 if you look hard enough. Well, we're falling short right now, but 285 is pretty close. 285 is still fun. That's fun horsepower. I have zero knowledge of Volvo's C70 HT coupe. Feel free to share your knowledge. Honda Civic VP, is that even a model? That might be a typo. Okay. Toyota Echo discontinued. I believe that was 118 horsepower. All these cars are manual, so they all would be fun. But we want the powerhouse cars. A 91 Camaro RS. For RS's V6s, that's probably 150 horsepower for that year. That's a V6. I think the 8s had like 220, like that far back. Camaro's got like 285 horsepower and like 93. BMW 325, 88, no clue how much horsepower. Might be a lot. Prelude SH, I believe that's the special version, 195 horsepower. Let's go 2 more pages, maybe 1. Let's see what we find. Let's see if we could find something good. So like 3 cars so far. Well, the Saturn wasn't 300 horsepower, but it's a 14-second car, so that's not too bad. Another 98 GT. At least it sounds good. Alright, we'll go 1 more page. And lots of Escort ZX2s. Another one. Okay, 1 more page. I'm pretty content. We found something with almost 300 horsepower. We got 285, so 285 is still fun. Cars were lighter back then. That Camaro's probably like 33 to 3,400 pounds. Camaros are like almost 4,000 pounds now. All the safety regulations. That's another topic. We'll talk about safety regulations and cars being heavy as hell later. Okay, 3 good cars. 3 really good cars. Hey, 1986 Porsche. You could get a Porsche for $3,500. I want to find another one. One more page. I have a feeling we're going to find one more. Grand Am GT. That's 150 horsepower, I believe. Fits the 2.4 engine. Lots of, hey, a Solara Toyota. Damn, how much does that have? I think that's like 220. Not quite 300. Some nice cars, man. There's some nice cars for $5,000 or less now. Cars are all good, man. After 1990, cars were really put together, man. You can't go wrong. An Acura for $3,000. That's a horrible color for a car. Mountain Dew color. Dodge Stratus. Alright, I think we lucked out with the Camaros, the Z28s that were on here. Not too shabby, man. Alright. Just keep looking. Keep looking and you'll find a $5,000, 300 horsepower car. Alright, everyone. Kick ass, be safe, and take it easy.